they would have had it. Because I never leave the house. I'm the one who never leaves. I hardly ever leave the house. And usually I'm the last one to get anything. Usually it's the kids bringing it home and getting sick, and then I'll get it or something. So I don't think this is a bug going around. I think this is a bioattack going around. I think our government is literally just picking off people, and I wouldn't have seen these beams if the Lord hadn't woke me up out of my sleep to see it hit my head. I wouldn't have noticed. I wouldn't have known a thing about them hitting the room. And so that's what I think is what's going on. Consider some of the people that have been suffering from this thing, and they're all big mouths, or they're warriors for the Most High. They're the Lord's warriors. They have callings on their lives. They're the ones suffering the most because they're being attacked by these Chinese DEWs that our government has and is using. And so I really don't know. I already have my blankets on my windows. I already have work going on my monitors. I have everything covered. And so the only other suggestion somebody gave me was to hang the mylar on the walls, because these beams that I saw were coming straight through the walls. They weren't coming through a window. They weren't coming through the computer. They were just coming straight through the walls. And so that's just, where we have to deal with. I would like to figure out a way to keep them from penetrating walls to begin with. So I don't know if anybody else has tried putting the mylar on their walls and it works. Let me know. I could just see it now. I'm redecorating the room, honey. Here's some mylar for the walls. I really think I've lost it then. I already have it on my window. Just getting tired of looking at white walls, honey. Let me know if that works. Another thing I've seen is that there is a cough, the one I have right now, that produces phlegm, and this is the one I've been hearing from a lot of people, where you just cough up phlegm and crap out of your lungs. And this is also associated with bioattacks, these directed energy weapons. Another one associated with Satan. So we're definitely under technological attacks to weaken people and make them sick. I mean, usually you think, these are coming from the chemtrails, but you know what? They can't get chemtrails in my area. And I haven't seen a plane in I don't know how long, because they just gave up. They'd come, they'd go. Because they were just wasting their supplies here, because they wouldn't stick. And that's what I've been teaching people to do in their areas around the world. Saturate your areas with orgone so the chemtrails won't stick. And eventually the planes will just stop coming. And so this is what I think that they've kind of countered our orgone, these chemtrails with, is these DEWs, directed energy weapons, and now that's what they're hitting us with. Because it's kind of just dominant in the codes where you see beam, and I know when I see beam, it's usually a beam weapon, laser weapon of some kind. But when you start seeing associated with all these sicknesses people are getting attacked with, and then, it's just kind of deduction. Method of deduction here. I'm not getting it that way. I'm not getting it that way, but I saw beams. So just another fight we're always under, huh, folks? So anyway, that's what I've been seeing in the codes. I don't know if some of these beings would have survived or not, but I half suspect that Japan will be the first ones to see some of these Anik giants on Earth coming from space, coming from these fallen ships that the orgone is pulling out of space and causing to crash, because Japan being mentioned in the codes and also in the Pacific, and where I'm seeing a lot of these ships ending up as ashes covering the Pacific. So just a heads up, something to keep your eyes out on. It's going to keep happening more and more. It's not going to stop now. Revelation chapter 12, and somewhere the Lord had me today, and I was going to get into that, where it talks about Satan being kicked out of heaven. Some people just, it's right there in front of you in the Bible, and you just never correlated it to alien invasions. You think it's all out of sight, out of mind, where you don't see Satan now, so you won't later. You probably won't see Satan himself later, but you're going to see him work through his henchmen, Maitreya and Sananda. And you're going to see him work through George Bush and Benny Hinn. Benny Hinn's people really believe that he's the Messiah on earth, that he is going to be the Antichrist. Those close to Benny Hinn really believe that. And one of the things that is interesting about Hinn is that he waits for the owl. When he sees the owl, then he gets power to perform false miracles. In Revelation chapter 13, where it talks about the second beast, it talks about how he does all these great wonders and all these miracles in the sight of men with Satan's power. He doesn't have any power on his own. He gets it from Satan. And that's how Benny Hinn operates. He waits till he sees Satan, and he calls him the owl. And then he has power to perform. Until then, he just kind of sings around with his choir and wastes time waiting and waiting and waiting. And that's what's so funny. That's why I love sabotaging his shows. Just getting to the shows with Orgone and making him wait and wait and wait. Just ruining his shows. Makes my day. And another thing with George Bush is he's so back and forth on what he's going to do. One minute he's making treaties with one beast but won't align with another. They all work together. I don't know if they're playing him for a rat or what, because he's already aligned with this Maitreya, but when it comes to Jesus, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. He shot down his Capricorn for him. Maybe they gave him a song and a dance as to, we need to shoot this down. It's an alien ship coming towards Earth. And meanwhile, NASA's shooting the shuttle Atlantis up there to pick him up to get him out of there before they shoot it down. Maybe Bush didn't know any of that. I don't know. I don't know what he knows and what he doesn't know. Sometimes you can see in the codes where he's told things. Told about her, told about this broadcast, told about that, told about this. You'll see that. But I don't know about how much about this whole Sananda Capricorn ship thing he actually knew about. What they told him, I have no idea. So it's interesting because he's been, or going to be, if he sticks around with the agenda. Because if he doesn't, they're going to kill him. If he does, he's going to be transformed into one of them. And you're going to see one of the first people in America or even in the world that's actually been transformed. What do they call it? Permutation. It's also called transubstantiation. He's going to be transformed as a human. You're going to see him glow. There was a funny picture on the internet years and years ago. I'd love to get it back. I don't know if I even have it in my files or not. I don't think it's on my website anymore. There's this funny picture of a young George Bush posing as Alexander the Great, and he looks like he's 24 years old, and he's all lit up with this glow, this light aura around him. I would love to get that picture back. If anybody has it, send it to me. Because that's exactly what this monoatomic gold is going to do. You can go on this 6-month course or 9-month course, not sure how long it is. But what you do is you drink or you snort this monoatomic gold every day for like 6 or 9 months. And it will completely transform you into one of these, they call them light beams. But that's not what they're going to call George Bush. They're going to call him God. And so, he's a candidate for the Antichrist. I've been talking about that for years. And this is how they do it with this monoatomic gold. They abuse this stuff. And that's what they're going to do. Because you can see Bush he's going to have two outcomes. He's going to be beheaded by Maitreya, or he's going to be have this transformation, this permutation from white monoatomic gold, and then just completely incarnated by Satan. There's very few people that I've ever seen with the words incarnation by Satan, where Satan incarnates a certain person. And I've seen it with Al Gore, and I've seen it with George Bush. And so those two, definitely, candidates for the Antichrist. I know a lot of people have written off Al Gore. Don't write him off. Don't write him off. Because he's very, probably, as far as, well, supposedly human, because I don't even think he's human anymore. But as far as humans on Earth running the alien agenda, the top would be Al Gore. He would be the most powerful. Even Hillary and Dick Cheney would be subservient to Al Gore when it comes to the alien agenda. He's the most powerful ranking human on Earth. I use human loosely.